Okay, returned from work when I began working on this, so yeah, I'm probably gonna sound weird. Surprisingly, walking up and down a lot still leaves you burned out just as much as it would on a hot day, even when you're working on a cold day. Anyway, I did a video talking about Fable and Objective Morality. Probably should have picked a better title for it, but fuck it. Looking back, I probably should have made a more concise point, or at the very least, one that wasn't as rambly. So, hopefully, this one does that and also rectifies some mistakes. But here it goes. I said that I believe there is an objective morality, and that the people making this game are an idiot, or the people making this comment saying there's no objective morality or whatever the fuck are idiots. I stand by that. I have no regrets. I will triple and quadruple down like Purple Aki if I have to, minus the creepy stuff. Um, I'll just come out of the gate into this. If you want me to say justify why I think there is an objective morality, okay. Let's use Fable as an example. The first Fable, I mean. If there is no morality, then every horrible thing Jack of Blades did is not evil. Just as everything the protagonist did, assuming they took the route of a hero, is not good. It's just you exist in this gray world where nothing matters. Like it sounds like the worst and most obnoxious form of nihilism. If I'm being perfectly honest, if there is no right and wrong, then why should you be invested in a story? Because like, why would you ever have any incentive to see a villain be taken down eventually? If you don't, and probably an extreme example to use, but let's take Griffith. Like, I'll often see videos about things, or I used to see some things that said Griffith did nothing wrong, which, no, he did. He did. He was willing to sacrifice his friends and everyone he ever knew and trusted, or everyone who trusted him, including, Guts, who considered him a friend. I think they were friends, actually, because from what I remember of their interaction. Well, anyway, if there is no right and wrong, if there is no objective morality, then what he did to Casca and Guts, not to mention all their friends that he sacrificed, that is not then evil. In this same logic, there would be no reason for a hero and an antagonist to actually have to fight, because an antagonist's whole thing is what he wants puts him into conflict with the hero or the protagonist, because what the protagonist wants puts him into conflict with the antagonist. They both want something, and to get it, they have to go through each other to get it. Boba Fett wants to make money. Han Solo wants to help the rebels or whatever. Now, Han does not necessarily need to fight Boba to get what he wants, but to get paid, Boba Fett needs to capture Han Solo and bring him to Jabba the Hutt, or Harvey Weinstein or whatever. Actually, no, better yet, movie Bob the Hutt. That'll do. So he needs Han Solo captured, preferably alive, because I think the money's worth more. Actually, I think the bounty for him was alive, because Jabba was pissed at him for losing Spice or something. So there is no way for Boba to get what he wants without, in some form, being in conflict and needing to capture Han, and therefore in conflict with the rebels and the other protagonists. So you have this, or better example, the hero of Oakvale. What he wanted as a kid, he was just living his life when Jack of Blades had his village destroyed. Now, the villain is Jack of Blades, without a doubt. But the leader of the Heroes Guild, spoiler alert, was the one who actually had a hand in attacking that village. He is an antagonist, albeit a secret one, and not even one who actually really has anything against the protagonist. He was the one who saved him at the time, and what else was it? It brought him to the Heroes Guild where he could become a hero. Now, the only reason why the Guildmaster ultimately does fight the Hero of Oakvale is because Jack of Blades needs him to. Jack of Blades has some leverage over him. And, well, to save time, yes. Now, the Guildmaster wants to settle this debt or make it to where he no longer has to serve Jack of Blades. To get that, either A is to kill Jack. Well, actually, no, I don't think killing Jack is an option for him. But it could be a case of either kill the hero or the hero kills him. Either way, his debt to Jack of Blades will be squared. So there's that. Now, the Hero of Oakvale, he mainly wants to get some item or information. The Guildmaster's death is not necessarily needed to get what he wants, but he does need to find the Guildmaster and get what he needs out. Admittedly, I'm going off the cuff here, and it's been a year or two or three since I last played Fable. So there's this, or the Sole Survivor in Fallout 4. He just wants to find his son. Now, granted, he has a vendetta against Kellogg, but his interest is more so in finding Sean. I think if Kellogg had told the Sole Survivor, or, well, let's be honest, if there was the option to, but Bethesda isn't exactly known for making quality content or story these days. Well, yeah, I guess it depends on your taste. Now, Kellogg could tell you, but at the same time, he's been told to, I guess, bring the... Well, actually, no, he's been set up because the guy who runs the Institute is creating a position where the Sole Survivor can kill him, so the Sole Survivor and the leader of the Institute both can get some form of closure in regards to Kellogg. Now, the Sole Survivor's main reason for hunting down Kellogg is, one, because he killed their spouse, but two, he is the only lead to get information. And even then, the Sole Survivor doesn't exactly have an option. He still has to kill, or he or she has to kill him still. And so the conflict is more so in the Sole Survivor's part. Kellogg, he's just there. He probably doesn't want to kill the Sole Survivor. Well, he probably wouldn't lose much sleep over it. But then again, I'm pretty sure in his memories, it's implied that he takes some solace in knowing that the Sole Survivor could possibly wipe out the Institute after he's killed. So, make of that what you will. And my whole point of this is, if there is no morality, then why should we care about the story? And that's assuming that the story is supposed to be the part that incentivizes you to like the game. If we're talking about gameplay, there's a possibility they could get that right. Admittedly, there's always whenever I see a game that's called, I guess, woke or woke adjacent, it still has one potential that, let's say, the Devil May Cry remake had with Ninja Theory. The gameplay was fun. The story, I mean, I didn't hate the story. I was kind of neutral on it, but then again, I'm neutral on a lot of things. This game was made, and honestly, the only way they could score any points with fans or people who bought it was with decent gameplay. Now, in theory, this new Fable game could have that. I'm not sure how else to get it down that road. Honestly, I don't think I want it to do well, to be perfectly honest, because the more I look at everything, the more I question my sanity and ask, do I even want anything to succeed now? Because honestly, I feel like I'm going nuts. I feel like I've lost my freaking mind. They called me loony, and boy, were they right. But, okay, but if they could make gameplay customization and stuff like we had in 1, 2, and 3, that might win some people over to their side. But much like, much like people from a certain nation, they don't do themselves many favors, though, when they say this, because it just sounds like the same crap we hear all the time from a bunch of people who honestly sound like they get high off their own farts and huff paint and glue and eat crayons. Maybe. Um, what was it? Oh yeah. So if the gameplay doesn't sell it, then yeah, I have to say like then why bother caring about the game? Like people can say what they want about the Spider-Man games that Sony made. The first one where you played Peter Parker and had side missions where you played as Mary Jane and Miles Morales for some reason, and then the second one where I think you played Miles Morales and some other stuff. The gameplay was at least fun to where it could justify me playing the game. The same with Jedi Survivor. That was a fun game, even though it kind of came off as it felt like kind of a clone of another game, but that's par for the course. I look at most games now and I just think they're clones of something else. Like I guess it was one part's Dark Soul, the other part some other crud, some other gobbledygook. So if they could salvage it with gameplay, good for them. At least they'll have made some money from it, regardless of what any YouTuber says. They could at least say, "Well, we technically won some people over." If not that, then yeah, I do not envy whoever put money down for this, and I really don't envy whoever works there because these people still find work somehow after they make crap, and eventually they're going to run out of places to run to con people like Carney's or Vince McMahon or WWE, I guess. And I guess that would be my main point, though, is, okay, even if you do not believe morality is a full-on thing, like, I don't know, you don't believe in black and white morality, okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't like black and white full on in terms of morality because that basically means if you fuck up in any remote way, you belong in front of a firing squad. I still think you should be punished, but I don't think I would go that far. And that's kind of just my overall point. Is if there is no morality to anything, then why should we bother caring about the villain or the hero? Like, what is the point then of caring? And if your argument then is, well, it can have a nuanced, non-binary, whatever, a non-binary moral thing, like, okay, let's say that was your point, that was your intent going forward. I recall something similar being done with Mass Effect Andromeda, and it did not go well for the game. Now, granted, there were lots of problems with Mass Effect Andromeda with what they had planned going forward. I want to say some of it was also DLC based, kind of like how Battlefront 2, the Star Wars one by EA, the last one by EA, was supposed to be heavily built in with microtransactions to do stuff going forward. I guess they wanted to replicate what was done with Call of Duty or whatever. But that didn't happen. Mass Effect Andromeda was eventually shelved, put on hold. I can only assume that's French Canadian for mercifully shit canned. And I didn't hate Mass Effect Andromeda. I was kind of, like I said, I'm neutral on a lot of things. Mass Effect Andromeda is one of them. I didn't know about the gender politics bullshit at the time. That was stuff I was, let's just say, not in the loop on. It was just I just put the game down and forgot to finish it. Same with Last of Us Part 1. Never finished it. Just left Boston, put the game up, and then forgot to go back. But yeah, it flopped. It still flopped hard. Kind of like what happened to John Carter of Mars. The difference is now I can see where the potential was for the movies for that going forward, and man, is it sad. Also makes me sad I didn't see the film, but that's beside the point. And I think there was more I wanted to say on this, but I like I said, I got off work just before I started recording this, and I am burned out. My mind is I would say it went out for a pack of smokes, never came back, but I still have some grip on it. But yeah, no, that's kind of just my thoughts on this. Is I did not make a good argument in the the last video about this, and I don't think I did a good job this time. But I thought I would just add to that of, oh, and also, if you also don't believe in morality, like, let's say you are someone who legitimately does not believe in morality in any sense, like Movie Bob, well, then how can you justify all the other asinine shit you say and do? Like, this is mainly for people who are, like, raging leftists, assuming that you made it this far in the video. And if you did and you want me to take you seriously, use the word banana. No. Precursor orb. That'll work. If you don't believe in morality or morality is not objective, and assuming you're not lying to your teeth about that, then how can you justify the things you say and do? How can you justify saying ice or... Actually, not even ice. How can you justify saying it's wrong to objectify women? It's wrong to have slurs in video games. Where how can you say that and then tell me also there's no objective morality? If you're just assuming you have that sort of defense in defense of the comments this person with the game made, I would ask that of you. Just, okay, then how do you have an argument then with everything else you say? Which is 9 times out of 10, I don't believe you. But okay, let's say you respond to this video. Let's say hypothetically I at least read it and hear out what you have to say. That would be my question: is okay, how do you justify anything else that you believe? Then, if there's no right or wrong, then what's the point to anything you argue? How would be the point to anything I do in that scenario? Because I know there's no point to making these videos. I'm well aware of that. I do this for personal amusement and also as a hobby. It's just some of these I don't plan out. And by some, I mean quite a lot. And I think I'll end the video there. Still, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of mind-blowing to see the last video blow up for the dumbest of like, seriously, that video blew up like a Belfast parking lot, or I don't know, the Hindenburg. I have no idea where I was going with this metaphor. But yeah, no, that's just my thoughts, or my follow-up thoughts, and yeah, no, have a nice day. Bye-bye.
In which case, fuck it. If I'm going down in style.